I'm Shelby. I'm going to be the second person doing videos on this page. Don't mind my dog right there and my other dogs up here as well. So they might be making noise throughout the video. I apologize. I intended on being more civilized for this video, but I'm just around the house doing chores and homework today. So that's what you're getting. I'm going to be doing a tank setup today. A lot of people's first thing's going to be, well, we don't recommend tanks. Tanks are bad. Why would you even put a video out there? Because clearly people are still using them. So we might as well put the best way to use them. You can make a tank work. You will just see all the modifications that you have to go through in order to make it work. I'm 21, I live in Canada, I live in Vancouver. I only have one ball python at the moment. I've had two throughout my life. Why is someone with only one ball python telling us how to take care of them? Everything I know is from this group and from the admins on this group. So any information I'm giving you comes straight from their mouths. For the most part. Yeah, I think that's everything. I apologize if there's lots of ums in this video. Okay, so let's get to it. Normally I would have Vladimir out and on me and I would introduce him right now, but he's very deep into shed. So I've just decided to leave him alone. Next video he'll most likely be out of shed and I will bring him out for that. This is my setup. Fun fact, this isn't quite a tank. I do have two tanks right here that are filled with nothing. Those are aquarium tanks. Those are fish tanks. For the most part designed for fish. This is an actual reptile enclosure by National Geographic. It's designed for desert reptiles, however. How dumb am I for purchasing this? So it actually has a screen on the top and one small screen on the side back here. So that's a pain in the butt for humidity, and it's something I've had to work around. It's regularly 100 Canadian. I got it on sale for 50. That's part of the reason I got it. It's considered a 13 gallon, but obviously you wouldn't put water in it. I got it for him when he was a hatchling-ish. He fit about in the palm of my hand. He would have just been between 100 and 200 grams. I wish I could bring him out now to show you how big he is and that he is still very happy in this very small enclosure. He probably won't be moving out of this for at least a couple more months, and he's still very happy. We're just getting to the point of having to switch out his hide shortly. Nash. Okay, come here. We're just in the middle of trying to find him a new hide because it is starting to get a bit tight. First thing, you'll see the outside of it. I've got a towel here. I move the towel around depending on where the most light is through the bedroom. Especially with tanks, they do recommend you black out at least the back. We recommend the back and two sides. With this being such a small tank and it usually being almost pitch black in this room, I don't worry about it too much. Now I'll slowly delayer the tank. You can, to black out sides of tanks, you could paint the back of the outside, paint the outside, not the inside. You can use construction paper, cardboard. If you want to insulate the tank a little bit as well, you can use foam, like styrofoam sheets. Yeah, there's lots of different ways. So another reason I really like this one is it opens in the front. So it's got this little key here. Not really a key, like if a kid really wanted to get into this tank, they could use a butter knife. But you get the idea. Front, that opens like so. Lock that now so I don't forget and have an escaped snake tomorrow morning. Okay, first supplies. I have my temperature gun. I have a Mastercraft one. Yes, Nash approves. And it's point and shoot. Pew, pew. You can set if you want Celsius or Fahrenheit, so on and so forth. I don't actually know much about the technicalities of this. I just know you point and shoot. It's regularly 100. I got it on sale for, I want to say 20. Actually, it was a super big sale. On top of my tank, I have a damp towel. It needs to be re-dampened a little bit, and there goes the dogs after the cats. That is always on top of the tank. Either, if I've just done a substrate changeover, my humidity holds quite well for a couple days. Then it's usually only on half of it, and then for a little bit after that, I usually cover the whole tank. I dampen it every day. I also have a spray bottle for here and there. I do not have to mist every day. If you're having to mist every single day, multiple times a day, you really got to start changing something up. I'll only give his substrate a re-soak down a little bit and mix it around. You don't want it sopping wet. You just want it almost cold to the touch. not even quite damp. Oh, substrate, I just use Eco Earth. I do want to switch to ReptiChip, but unfortunately it's only available in the United States right now. They are working on distributors here in Canada, thankfully, so hopefully maybe sometime this year we'll have access to it. Okay, so I've got my Accurite thermometer and hygrometer here. I don't have the probe one, I've just got the little compact one. My temperature right now is at 82 Fahrenheit, and my humidity is sitting right at 65. You will also see my thermostat, different than a thermometer, thermostat. Stat you use to control your hotspot with your UTH, be it a heat mat, heat tape, or radiant heat panels. This is the Jumpstart one. Sorry, I can't get too close. Oh, there we go. This is the Jumpstart one. This is usually the one we recommend for people with smaller collections or on a budget. You can only plug in one heat source to it. You set your maximum, higher, lower, and then it shows the temperature it currently is. So my hotspot in between my heat pad and the bottom of my tank right now is reading 92.3. I have it set at the max 94 because once it gets, the heat actually travels through the tank and stuff. My hotspot sits around 88 to 91. My probe is running, so it has a probe attached to it. I just have it running under my tank. It's taped with aluminum tape, like aluminum foil tape, shoved underneath my heat tape and taped in there. That's that. I'm gonna pick you guys up and show you the top of his tank. This is the top of his tank. See his hide, his water dish. I've just got some green leafy stuff on here, and his cork log. Top, I have 2 clips here and 2 clips here. You just unclip, and you can lift it off like that. Dun da da da. If you are using lights, don't. If you need to use some extra heat source for your ambient temperature, which is usually the case with a tank, you need to get a CHE. Unfortunately, I do not use them, so I cannot show you one as an example. But you can find them on Amazon. Just type in ceramic heat emitter. It's kind of like a bulb, but it gives off almost no light and doesn't suck humidity quite as bad as a bulb would. With any heat source, no matter what it is, you need some sort of control. A thermostat is always your best because it has essentially an emergency setting on it so that your temperature cannot go past that point. With ceramic heat emitters, you can use a dimmer switch. This is a dimmer switch. I had my UTH attached to it way back when because another group told me that you need your UTH controlled by a thermostat, not by a dimmer. But with your CHE, you can get away with a dimmer. So whatever your heat source is, whatever you're trying to control, will plug into this. This will plug into the outlet, and you control it with this. So this being off, and you adjust how much electricity reaches the device by adjusting this. This was 15 Canadian dollars at Home Depot. All the prices I'm going to be giving are in Canadian, so realistically it's probably cheaper for anybody in the States. So tank, always start with a 10-gallon. Your snake almost up to a year probably, and some more, because I've noticed Vladimir seems to be quite bigger than most snakes I'm seeing on the page his age. I feel like I'm talking about my child. I'm not that crazy, I promise. 10-gallon will last your tank probably the first year at least. I know you're gonna feel like that's cruel and they need more space. That is not the case. And my cat is scratching at the window. I apologize if you hear that too. Tank, substrate, ReptiChip is most recommended. ReptiChip and ReptiBark are 2 different things. ReptiBark is bad, barking is bad, barking dogs are annoying. ReptiBark, bad. ReptiChip, I don't know what I can compare chip with to make you think. Chips, everybody likes chips, right? There you go. ReptiChip, good. ReptiBark, bad. ReptiCarpet, bad. Stay away from the carpet crap. Yeah. Next, you need at least 1 hide. With a 10-gallon, you can probably get away with only having 1. I had his clay hide, and the log as his second. You need a water dish, typically enough for them to be able to crawl into and soak, but you don't want it super, super deep that they're completely submerged, like swimming in it. You'll notice those using racks and tubs, often the water dish is quite smaller as they hold humidity so well. They do not need a large water dish. They won't soak as often in tubs as well. Vladimir never soaks. I've never seen him in his water dish. In shed, out of shed, stuck shed, doesn't go in there, but he does drink. I've seen him full on drink out of it many times. You need a digital thermometer or hygrometer. We recommend the Accurate ones. In the United States, you guys can purchase them at Walmart. Here in Canada, I have yet to find them in a store. I've checked Canadian Tire, Home Depot, Walmart, Superstore. Can't find them. Go on to Amazon.ca. They're between $11 and $12, and I believe once you pass like $50, it's free shipping. So if you get this and your Jumpstart together, I'm pretty sure it's free shipping. Anything can work for a hide. I just recommend something that covers 3 sides. A lot of people use the logs. I personally recommend against the logs is it's got 2 open ends, and they tend to feel more secure in something completely enclosed. I've seen people use rabbit hides from the dollar stores. Just get one that's a darker color so it's not as transparent. I purchase mine at the expo each year from a gentleman here in BC who hand makes clay hides for reptiles. Yes, you need some sort of heat source. You can run 2 ways with heat. You can either have hot, ambient, cool, or you can have purely ambient. In the case of having purely ambient, heat your whole room to a constant 82, 85, 86, somewhere in that range, 86 at the max. Yeah, you've got nothing to worry about for the most part. Or you can do hot, ambient, cool, which is what most of us run off of. So you'll want your heat source. You can either have radiant panels, heat tape, or a heat mat. Please make sure the heat mat is designed for reptiles. Don't go buying your like heat pad that you plug in and shove onto your blankets and cuddle at night. Don't use that one. Heat source of any kind must be controlled by a thermostat. Is the Jumpstart one off Amazon. Tons of us use it. Once getting into larger collections, there's the VE Vivrium 500. There's Herpstat, which is kind of like the go-to big one. Those ones are designed to control multiple inputs. They're a little more advanced, probably slightly more reliable, but I don't think anyone's had any issues with these either. If you need to up your ambient a bit more, you will need a CHE, controlled by dimmer switches of some sort. Temp gun to check your hot spot temperature. Damp towel over top of screen to keep in your humidity. And some way to block outsides the tanks, be it painting the outside, paper, cardboard, or putting towels. Yeah, I also, last but not least, do have a space heater in this room on sometimes. The last option for housing your BP would be a PVC or acrylic enclosure. You'll see these a lot from Adrian and Laura. They have a lot of those setups. It's essentially a tank looking thing made out of PVC, acrylic, plexiglass, I believe is usually what they use. They are designed to hold humidity much better, temperatures much better. They often lock. They look quite nice. They tend to come as a whole package, which is a little bit easier. So yeah, I think that's that for enclosures for these 2 videos. If you want a recap of anything you need for tubs, racks, tanks, or anything like that, check out our files section. It is all broken down in there. You can also check out Shania's last video where she does talk about her rack system from Sea Serpents. And then there's this for my tank situation. Next week, it's Shania's video next week. I can't remember who's doing what, but the next 2 videos or the next 2 weekends will be us talking about why my snake isn't eating, or why my ball python isn't eating. We do talk about this a lot in the group, but we also talk about setups a lot in the group, and we just thought this is another way to get the information out there. Some people are more inclined to listen to someone talk versus reading through a file and picking out information. Some people would prefer to read rather than listening to someone talk, so we're just trying to give as many educational outlets as we can. The next video will be talking about moving to feed. Just remember, this is totally not okay. It is not supported in any way through ball python enthusiasts, but it's something we still run into, so one of us is going to be doing a video on that. Moving to feed does tie into why your ball python's not feeding, but there are plenty of people out there who do move their snake to feed and it does continue feeding, but there's many of other reasons why moving to feed is a bad thing. So we're going to go over that. If you enjoyed this video, like I said, I'm going to try to shorten it down a bit so you guys, I'm at 22 minutes right now, jeez. Yeah, stay tuned for next week's video.